Hey folks, Cheddar Betters here. Wanted to go over the UFC slate tonight. I'm going to keep it a little shorter than last time just so we can get all the information I can in here. And if you'd like, if you want to see the full layout of all the picks, just jump onto my Instagram page. It's at Cheddar Betters. That's it. Same thing as the YouTube. Let me start out with one of the locks. I sent this one really early in my Instagram story and posted it on the page. And this is a really good one I like a lot. I have 5 units on it. It's definitely my pick of the night tonight. Happens to be the main event. I have Dan Ige on the money line, minus 130, 5 units. Here's why I like Dan Ige. By the way, earlier in the week, could have got him at 106, minus 112, minus 120. Now he's all the way up to minus 140 on some books. Obviously, Vegas is seeing the trend here. They understand that what I'm about to tell you, but also that Dan Ige is getting the value from a lot of the sharp bettors. Here's what I think is going to happen in this fight. I think Dan Ige wins either in the 5th round or by decision, probably by decision. I think he has an ability to knock Korean Zombie out, even though Korean Zombie's not the type to get knocked out. I think Zombie's walked through too many punches. He's had too many absolute wars, and that says a lot of good things about a fighter, but it also says some negative things. The positives are that he's a guy who's just got an iron chin. He can last through any war and not get knocked down or knocked out and stumbled. But at the same time, it shows that his head movement isn't really good. And from watching his past fights, it shows. His head movement really is average. From a guy like Ortega, who I don't put much stock in him because he's been out for so long, and the drug thing and everything else, or the steroids, whatever it was, don't put a lot of stock in a guy like that or in that fight. Not saying he's not a good fighter. It's just difficult for me to judge that fight based on his history. He got absolutely smoked by Ortega, Zombie did, and for those reasons, I think he's on the decline. Dan Ige on the way up. Think he's more explosive. Think he's got better speed and power in the pocket. Those close clinch, tight in the pocket, you're exchanging blows. I give Ige the edge in that all the time. I think if he stays away from the leg kicks, those calf kicks or those knee thigh area kicks, he'll be able to pull out a win and last the full 4 or 5 rounds and maybe come out with a knockout win. I'm going to rush through the rest of these because that's the one I wanted to give you the most info on. But I have a second lock today, which isn't typical. I usually only have one or maybe one every other week. Today I have 2 in one day. I have a little parlay here. Sergey Spivak and Diego Lima parlayed 3 units. It's at plus 119. You should be able to get it plus 110 or better. I think DraftKings right now still has it at plus 119 or PointsBet. They both have it around the same amount. Here's what I like about the Diego Lima fight. Matt Brown's 40. I say this every week when there's a 40-year-old on the card. Unless his name's Glover Teixeira, I'm not betting him. And it doesn't mean I always bet against him. In this case, I did on both occasions here. Olenek is 43. Matt Brown is 40. That's not the only reason I'm betting against him. Matt Brown just lost to Carlos Condit and it soundly was defeated by Carlos Condit. And I just don't see his career going anywhere after this. This is a retirement fight for him. Diego Lima, I think, smacks him around for a few rounds. Maybe ends the fight before the end of the 3rd. But don't think there's value in betting that either way. Diego Lima won 3 of his last 4. He's coming off a loss to Bilal Muhammad. But as you know from last week, I rank Bilal Muhammad pretty highly. He's one of my... I think he's a top 10, maybe a top 5 contender in that division at some point. Just not there yet. So there's no shame in that loss. Plus, there's an 8-year age difference here. Diego Lima's 32. Matt Brown's 40, going to be 41. Next, we have Sergey Spivak and Alexei Olenek. Olenek, something people undervalue about him a lot is that he can tap out anyone, anywhere, anytime, no matter what position he's in. He has an ability to tap people out standing, from his back, on top, in awkward scramble positions, in the clinch. He can tap anyone out anywhere, which does make me a little bit nervous about Spivak in that fight, but I think that Vegas rated it accurately as a minus 240. I actually had a little higher, maybe like a minus 280 for Spivak, because I think Spivak has the ability to get things done in the 1st round early. I think he can storm Olenek. He's 43 years old. I think he can overwhelm him and get the knockout. If he doesn't, he's going to have to win the 2nd round because Olenek, even though he's got a decent gas tank, he is 43, but he can still make something happen when everyone's tired in the 3rd round. The reason I give such a heavy advantage to Spivak is because the only way I see Olenek tapping out Spivak is in later rounds, and big boys like that are really sweaty and really hard to tap out in the 3rd round. I don't think Spivak gets close enough in the first 2. After that, I got a couple straight plays for you. I like Choi Sung Woo at -150. I threw 1.5 units on it. That's not because I bet like that. It just happened to work out this way on this one. So to win 1 unit there. Wellington Tournament +105. Like that one a lot at 1 unit. I have another one on Joaquim Silva. I think that's going to be a great one. I was thinking about going higher than a unit, but I played it safe just because there's a lot of intangible, a lot of questions in that fight. But I do think Silva comes out with the win. Grant, I have a +180. I love that. I love that that's a co-main event. I'm not a big fan of Chito Vera. I think he's extremely overvalued. And if you watch some of Grant's fights, he's a really tough guy to beat. And at least 2 or 3 out of his last 5 fights, he's been a heavy underdog and he's come out with the win. So really like that he's a +180 there. Heavy underdog. Think he can pull out the win. And then I was a half unit on that one, by the way. And then I threw a half unit on Semelsberger, fellow Marist alumni, but that's not the reason I bet on him. I think against a big, heavy slugger, you know, he's the kind of guy that's able to stay in range, and that's the kind of fight this is going to be. Is he going to be able to keep range and land body kicks and leg kicks and be able to outbox from a distance, or is he going to get wrapped up and clinched, and that's going to be the real question mark here. I think he's got a chance at +125. I make it a 50-50 fight. I'll take the plus money on him all day long. That's what I got for you for UFC. Thanks for checking in. If you like what you see, shoot a subscribe there, press the button, and yeah, if you like more of these breakdowns and whatnot, I post all the cards and everything on the Instagram page, so you can always check them out there. Shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to answer. Talk to you guys soon.